Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today I'm joined by Old Bend Over. That's really his name.
It's it's not about melon. It's not about melon. It's not about melon.
Yeah, I'm just glad the show actually started. It didn't look like it was going to start there for a second. It was looking kind of bad, and then it said, "Okay, I'm gonna start." Today we're going to talk about the Inquisitors and Moses Ingram's character and a connection to the Knights of the Old Republic. I have learned, as a learned man, I have learned this. And I posted a little video today that is my side of a story as Star Wars Reddit Leaks continues to just plagiarize still everything that I write and post it to the forum there, as opposed to linking and crediting and citing me properly. And last night, this has been going on for a long time. This has been an ongoing thing. And I just released like a 2-hour video with the truth. And I think if anybody cared to actually pay attention to it, they would be like, oh, okay, now I understand what this is. And it's a lot different than how some people are making it sound. But there was a guy and he wrote, somebody's like, hey, why don't you simply cite Making Star Wars instead of using his spoilers all the time? And this one guy's all, because Jason Ward has done some terrible things that resulted in the ban. Unfortunately, though, he's still one of the best sources. And then this other person responds. This person responds.
No, hold on. Just think about that. Like ethically, let's say ethically, and like I'm not comparing you to the Third Reich, but I'm just trying to make an extreme example here, right? Let's just say Hitler had been to be the best source for Star Wars news, but they're like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like he's Hitler, but he's got. If you don't like him, you don't fucking. You don't watch them. The only way they can get the news is to watch the show. Like or to go on your site.
Yeah. So
if I don't like someone, I don't watch their shit. I don't go to their site. You know,
same.
Just saying.
Yeah. If I don't care what you have to say, and you're not worth it, then I just don't listen to you.
Oh, well.
But this one guy, and I won't write his name because I don't want him to get any grief, but he talked with a minor about Star Wars with zero sexual suggestions or anything like that. And the other case was when he was trying to get close to an adult woman who since then, blah, blah, blah. I won't go into that. And then he has made the conversations public. The other side never released any proof. If you ask me, a bunch of uptight neckbeards trying to cancel him while still sucking on his scoops is much worse than what he did. And they, of course, Star Wars Leaks deletes that. They don't let anybody who sticks up for me or tries to speak the truth have a voice. They delete it and then go. And then, and the only thing that's been good for me or I've been happy about is that like somebody who does deserve credit for their good work, like Bespin, they'll like cite Bespin if he cites me. Like that's the game that they play. But it's it's all bullshit. And that forum is just really, really sucky. And if they see the video and they see everything and then they change their mind, water under the bridge. If anybody talks shit on me or thought I was a predator, and then they see my video, hear the phone conversation, hear any of that stuff, and they change their mind, water under the bridge. It never happened. I can get past things. I'm an adult. But they want to keep stewing, so that's why I made a 2-hour video. I don't know if it's 2 hours, but it's a really long video. And I lay it all out, and it's all there, warts and all. And and I got to say, I don't expect it to make anything better. I don't expect any change to come from this. But boy, do I feel so fucking good right now. You have no idea how nice it was to unload the truth and to juxtapose it with their words and Jordan Mason, throwing shit out there. It's like, Jordan, I only ever helped Jordan Mason. I gave Jordan Mason scoops in the past. And then now he uses that to deride me, to prop himself up. You don't have to do that, Jordan. And if Jordan Mason sees the video and he changes his mind, water under the bridge. If Jordan Mason sees the video and holds his position, then it's very, very apparent what he's all about. And that's all I'm going to say about it. That's After this, I am truly done, but I will post that video whenever I see fit against anybody who goes and starts spreading anything that is untrue or mischaracterized about me. Fuck that. So anyways, we got a cool Star Wars scoop today.
I also want to say, if you don't start giving Chris Kenobi spoilers, he's gonna send me Vegemite. Like, I can't. I don't know what to do about that. Like, you don't send me Vegemite. Don't.
See, this is how I make people mad on the internet. Is he changed his name and he changed his avatar and he starts DMing me random stuff and I don't know. I didn't notice. I get so many DMs and stuff like that. And thank you, chat, for all of the support. I'm not going to throw your names up. I don't want you guys to get any shit splatter from this that you don't have to. But
Count Dooku splatter. You don't want any of that. It's not good. It gets all over the ship.
But
it's a real shame that they cauterize those wounds, because I just want to edit where they kill Bill Dooku's head on that ship, and they're just bathed in like fucking Dooku juice, you know?
Yeah. Chris from Australia, I love you, man. I truly do. Your Vegemite is awful, though. It does not taste
fucking
good.
Horrible, dude.
It tastes like if you took salt and soy sauce and somehow made that worse. You know what I mean?
How do you make salt worse? Like, seriously, like, how do you, that's crazy.
Ask Australia. Ask the people who created the kangaroo. That's what I say. But
they created the kangaroo.
They created the kangaroo. Tell me that shit was not.
We worked very hard.
Made in the lab.
Very hard on it in Perth. Perth.
Yeah.
I got friends who live in Australia. And I'm like, is it really Perth? They're like, it's Perth. I'm like, all right.
And then the kangaroos created, what is it? Is it Adeline or whatever it's called? And then there we go. Now we got Vegemite. But but anyways, Chris, I love you, dude. Don't worry about it. Okay. So this is the exclusive story of the day. And it is Moses Ingram's name revealed and the KOTOR connection. That's Knights of the Old Republic, in case you don't read acronyms right. So some of this is repetitive. Some of this is stuff I've shared before, but most of it's new. Some of it's new, I should say. Moses Ingram has been one of the most talked about mysteries from the up-and-coming Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming to Disney+. While I already dropped on the Making Star Wars show that she was the third sister some time ago, I withheld her real name. The third sister is a rank or a title, but not the name of the character herself. Moses Ingram is playing Reva, the third sister in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi for Disney+. The character has been described as brutal and intelligent. Reva cuts off. I got a typo already. I was trying to write this one after a very long night of editing, so give me a break.
Reva cuts off the hands. When I text people, it's just really bad typos. It's
horrible. She cuts off the hands of those who feel they're not complying with her investigation while on Tatooine. The Grand Inquisitor is shocked by her actions, and he realizes she is rather formidable now. So she's like really growing, and she's becoming powerful. An interesting fact I learned from crew members is she is named after Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. The concept is Reva is the feminine version of Revan. I don't know if that implies any story beats will also follow in Revan's footsteps, but it is possible. Only time will tell if we ever learn of this fun fact officially. I don't know if Reva is her birth name or a name she takes on after becoming an Inquisitor. Because can you imagine if like the whole time they're like, third sister, can you pass the salt? Third sister, can you hand me the Vegemite? You know, it's just like, hey Reva, can I have the Vegemite? So anyways, you know, so she has a name. I have heard that when we first see Reva in an Order 66 flashback, but it's unclear for if she's the cloaked Jedi who we see in the opening or not. So that's a little extra for you who watch the show. It appears that we learned her backstory about how she was once a Jedi and how she in turn followed in Anakin Skywalker's footsteps and betrayed the Jedi. She is determined to prove herself by capturing and killing Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. And if you watched the show yesterday, dropped some pretty big stuff about how all of that plays out in their plan. So go read the scoop from yesterday if you haven't, or watch the video from yesterday if you haven't, to learn what the plan is. We could talk about it on the show today too. But the crew had good things to say about Reva and Moses Ingram's performance of the third sister. She is likely to become a very popular character after she defines what an Inquisitor is in live action for Star Wars audiences. And then I ask everyone to come and hang out with us on the Making Star Wars show, and every day. And you're already here, so you guys already know that. And I make a little thing about my video that I did today, and I'm like, hey, if you're hearing stuff, how about you watch this before you go post my shit to Star Wars Leaks and just steal my hard work as if I didn't do all of the legwork for it.
Sorry about that. My bad.
It was Rob the whole time.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hey, I just thought, in keeping in theme with Kenobi, I'd betray you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's Star Wars with a little betrayal. Wouldn't be Star Wars without it. That's why Boba Fett feels so weird. Everyone's too nice.
Yeah,
betrayals.
Mark Hamilton says, "Cue a million faux rage videos." Oh my god, KK gender swapped Revan. They're playing identity politics with my Star Wars.
Oh, is that what they're? I didn't even think about that. All I know, man, is someone. Her name is Moses Ingram. How fucking cool name is that, dude? Like, I got stuck with fucking Robert. Fucking dumb name. I've never met a Rob I liked. Maybe Rob Liefeld, kind of. I don't know him personally. Just he's entertaining, right? But I don't know any. Generally, I guess Robert. I don't know Robert Pattinson. Not a lot of good Robs.
Yeah,
their name is Rob. As in we stole something from you. So
as in you're posting my leaks to Star Wars Leaks.
Yeah, my bad, dog.
Yeah, it's true.
I figured I'd apologize before the truth came out.
Hey, I told you, man. Water under the bridge. Jeff Mugg says, "Where does Conja Club fit into all this?" I'm pretty sure Conja Club is just going to end up by the end of all this just being a really cool 80s band. Doesn't that sound like an 80s, like a very good 80s band? Conja Club.
I know Mark Ellis will be happy for it to disappear.
But yeah. Oh no. Spider-Man says, "Hey there, I'll stay for a bit. How much do you have to put in the swear jar today?" Oh, it's actually the opposite. Whenever I don't swear, I have to put money in the I didn't swear jar. Yeah. So that's why I do it.
Yeah. I don't subscribe to your puritanical ways of speaking.
Yeah, you know what? I actually
I
actually messaged Jedi Paxis and attempted to send him the truth. He didn't even respond to it. Wouldn't even look at it. Was like, you know what? Nah, this isn't convenient for me. It's just easier to call you bad things. So
that's true.
It is much easier. It's true. So I don't see a problem with Revan being a woman. KOTOR let you make the character a man or a woman. Yeah. No, I don't.
I feel the same way about Mass Effect. If they came out the Mass Effect movie, I'd prefer it to be a female. I've been saying this forever. All AAA games should let you create your own character. They can have their default character, but every one of them should have a character creator. Because I would like Grand Theft Auto where they're all chicks. I hate hanging out with dudes. I don't like dudes.
Why are you here every myself? Day? Why are you here every day?
No. I enjoy the pain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I self-sabotage.
Hey Rob, can you do a Robert Kennedy voice? I want the. I can't do it. I can't do that one. It's just so weird to me.
I want the spoilers. Right, that one.
Yeah.
Give me the spoiler. Give me jelly donuts.
Yeah. That's not what spoilers can do for you, but what you can do for your spoilers.
I spent the millennium in Berlin. Right? I thought that would be a great place to be if the whole world went to shit.
You're all Y2K. It's going to happen, man. And when it is, I'm going back to the motherland. No, I'm kidding.
But at midnight, I yelled out, "I am a jelly donut!" And my military friends couldn't stop laughing. The Germans were like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm
Star Wars Santa. He'll get it.
I'm a little sad that Y2K like wasn't a mini apocalypse, because it would have been kind of fun if there had been a little mini apocalypse today, you know.
I was in
Not
the
today,
army,
but
so I figure I was at the time. I was like, I'm pretty good for I'm good for me, Fuck everyone else, but like,
yeah.
like I'll survive this,
I like this question. Spider-Man. All right, I know I'm late on asking this. Why is Ben a ghost? So old Bendover, aka Rob, is he's working on a project and he can't show us what he's drawing. So for that reason, he is a ghost.
I can't even risk showing what I'm drawing, folks. Like, and to the point too, I have to like work while we're doing this. So like, I'm actively working. Like, imagine going to work and doing a podcast at the same time. That's what I'm doing. So
yeah, it's kind of what I do. What I do. No, okay. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
It's only because I've done my own streams for the last 10 years that I have the capability of doing this,
Yeah.
But I just can't risk due to NDAs and stuff like that, anything leaking. So
yeah.
It was this or not beyond, right, Jason? We talked about that. I was like, well, I guess I could disappear for 6 months. But then you were like, oh, and then I'm stuck with Jesse. Which is nice. But, guitar.
I didn't say that, by the way, Jesse. He just said that. I didn't say that.
And he vapes a lot, and he gets into arguments and he's barely on camera because he sits fucking 2 feet off the floor.
You're making him sound perfect right now, just so you know.
Well, he's available for dating, Jason. Just let you know.
True. No, but today he's not here. He's working today, so it's like there you go. It's. Okay, Luke says, just finished your video from today. Wishing you and all involved inner peace and comfort. Sorry if it's already been discussed. No, it's okay. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I just want to put it all behind me and all that kind of jazz too. You guys ever read Dark Empire? Oh yeah, Dark Empire. As a kid, it was like a really strange, almost magical coincidence. Like, I guess I kind of was buying a lot of Batman back then, but when Dark Empire came out, I think I was sort of like on a little burnout on comic books, and I just happened to come in, and the guy goes, "Hey, you're the Star Wars kid." I'm like, "Yeah," and this is before the kid with the lightsaber. I was the Star Wars kid before the Star Wars kid, and he's like, "Hey, we have a new Dark Horse book," and I'm like, "I don't even know what that is. What's Dark Horse?" And then he's like, "Here," and then he shows it to me, and I'm like, "What?" And so I was like, and then at first I thought I don't remember if I thought it was Heir to the Empire as like a comic book. I remember being confused. I think I don't remember how that flowed. I remember being confused by it though.
I thought Heir to the Empire, the book came out in like 98. Like it came out
No. Heir to the Empire came out when I was like 9 years old.
No, I'm talking about the comic book.
Not yeah.
It came out in 91. I'm talking about the comic by Oliver.
Yeah, I'm talking about there was a novel and a comic book coexisting in the same exact like era, and it confused me.
Okay, I thought you meant the comic adaptation.
No. I actually bought the comic and didn't like it of Heir to the Empire. I was like, this just doesn't.
He's
really
my favorite fucking Star Wars artist, dude. You're nuts. Oliver.
No, I did. I'm not knocking. Art can be good, and the adaptation could not work. I mean, that's just how I felt about it. But
there wasn't enough Luke sitting out in space, right? For you, you need 22 pages.
No, it's worth. I honestly, it's been a long time, so I don't really want to like die on a hill over anything about that, right now. But I just felt like it didn't adapt into a comic book well. I just felt like this is just a book, and that's sort of where I started to formulate this opinion that Heir to the Empire won't make a good movie either. It makes a Star Wars book. It doesn't really make
it's got a bunch of good ideas that would be translated, but sure. It's not you can't do that 1-to-1. You could do it as a TV series, because there's more room for they just sit around doing jack shit, there's $50 million. We just spent $10 million on that. Like, that's great. But they ate a turkey leg.
I did love it though when it came out. Excuse me. I remember I started buying one to keep closed on a board, because I was like a little nerd, and one that I was just going to read over and over and get my little greasy paws on. And I remember buying the second issue, And then later on, that second issue became worth so much money because they just did like a super low print run of it for some reason. I don't know why, but
They always under order second issues. Common comic book problem.
Is it because they know that the second issue will never? It's people only buy the second issue, about the first issue.
The first issue, yeah. This is a common. It's ever since those trading card guys got into comics and tried to turn them into stock. There's a site, I can't say what they are because he's extremely litigious and I don't want to get you in trouble.
Okay.
But this guy used to advertise into Wizard, and they had it was like you would the idea was that you send them money and they will buy comics like stocks for you. And suffice to say, they just stole your money.
Thanks for the comics, nerds.
People are like, "Can you send me my comics?" And they just wouldn't. It's crazy.
Yeah. Have you guys ever played the old customizable card game?
Yeah, it was fucking horrible. I worked at a toy store when it came out. I was so excited. Couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculously bad.
Yeah, I was too young to be able to have a job, so I stole it as a kid, as a teenager. Not proud of that or anything, but yeah. And we tried to play it for a little while, and I just really couldn't get like the flow down. And then other people who played it didn't really like it, so I kind of ended up having all these cards. And then Phantom Menace came out, and my friend jumped on top of the Kentucky Fried Chicken and stole the giant Phantom Menace banner that goes around the whole top of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And he's like, "What will you give me for this?" And I was like, "I'll give you all my Star Wars cards." And he was like, "Yeah." And I gave him the Star Wars cards, and I had this giant KFC banner in my band's practice studio for years. It had like Anakin's face and Watto and Darth Maul and Jar Jar on it. I think it had Jar Jar, and maybe it had Watto. Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. But imagine JJ actually did Dark Empire for the sequel trilogy, Dark Side, Luke, and all. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if that stuff would have translated. Like maybe it's like my lack of imagination, It very well just
I think the smarter bet would have been had they just assumed the events of those books sort of took place. Not all the EU, but let's just say those 3 books, and then they started a story where everyone's aged now, and then you know what I mean, moved it forward from there. So if you wanted to go read it, you could have read it. It would have been a nice, because it's the one thing that came out of the EU that most people consider legit. I mean, Han Solo had a whole trilogy of books that I think is far better than the actual film, but people don't even know about that one.
Right.
They got the best Struzan art on those books too, man. So fucking good.
Yeah, Han Solo, I feel like always should have been a television series, because
I would agree.
When you look at like the American Western as a genre itself, Western films, there's definitely some big ones, but Western television series tend to seem to have more life to me. Like I could be wrong, but I feel like those kind of adventures are more fitting for Han Solo in tiny episodic shorts, because he's dumb. I mean, Harrison Ford knows this. I mean, Han Solo's just kind of a dumb, country boy when you get down to it. And if you're but he's earnest and he's good, And when I say he's dumb, I don't mean he's an idiot, but he's not super bright. And so you have to have
scruffy looking.
Yeah, you have to have him continually getting into the same kinds of trouble over and over again. He goes to a card game and it goes south, and then what does he do the very next day? Goes back to the same fucking card game. Like that's the character. And if you have Han Solo every episode learning a big lesson, like this is the one time where I'm like, oh, this character never learns. And based off of how he's been handled in like episode 7 and stuff, and where they took it, he's the same dude pretty much all the time. So I do think they would be wise to start to introduce Han into some of these TV shows, and just to kind of get that going and have him be a recurring character there, because it's fun. Han and Chewie adventures could be so much fun. It just doesn't. I don't think it I like the film, for the record. I'm not like crapping on the film, but I don't think the film was the best opportunity for them to utilize. And I think that, you know, with their time and their money, and at that point, I think they agree. I think they know that too. So, and then it is asked, will Moses Ingram be mostly wearing an Inquisitor mask or have it off a lot? From what I know, it's just a mixture of the two. So, yeah, sorry, I don't actually like have like a really great answer for that. I do know that I believe that we see her face, and I hadn't really considered that you know, she might have the mask on the entire time or something like that. But I do know that we see her face. So as far as it goes, yeah. Junkbox says not a good trade. I don't know. I think I probably sold that banner in the end for more than the cards were worth, but in the end. But anyways, Mark Hamilton says, I got a whole lot of those cards from the early sets. Was too complicated for me to understand. Yeah, that was kind of the thing about the card game back then was when you got, I felt like when you got really versed in the rules, and then you would like say these exceptions, then you would piss your friends off. So it was like you would almost have to have had like these really super nerdy friends that this is what your only relationship was, the card game, and that just wasn't my my scenario. And I know there's people who have those kinds of relationships now. Like they just go down to this one like gaming store and like that's all they do on like Thursday night. They get together and like that's what they do. That didn't exactly exist for me back then. So if they ever made a new one, I would happily give it a whirl and try it, you know. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised they haven't tried it again. But anyways, oh, Bounty Law. Yeah, Bounty Law. There we go. But what is Revenge Guy up to right now? By the way, I'm absolutely
getting revenge.
Things
Look, Revenge Guy needs to be a character on season 2 of Peacemaker. You know what I mean? He just gets revenge. Revenge for you, revenge for others. I get revenge and revenge.
Or how about this? The Adventures of Bounty Law with Revenge Guy. And he's like, I'm Revenge Guy.
I'm revenging. What are you revenging? You know?
He's like,
that's what I do.
It's getting hot in here. A revengeance is coming. I'm like, whoa. Oh shit. Whenever I play Fortnite with you again, Revenge Guy, I need a little bit of that. Like when you pick me up and you like revive me at the revive station, I need a promise of revengeance. All right. Junkbuck says it would fit in the Lando show they are supposed to be doing. Yeah, that's a hope of mine. If that Lando show,
I hope they actually make that fucking show. Like,
there hasn't been a lot about it, has there? I mean,
no, there hasn't.
Wouldn't it be strange if by some chance all of the Grammar Rodeo stuff was inaccurate and it was just that Lando show?
he carries around a bunch of kids in his old age. Oh fuck. Or he does just,
yeah.
It's Lando and his 7 kids. They're all robots.
Me and L3 had kids I never told you guys about. We
said the batteries weren't included. All right, Lando.
Oh, no.
All right, nice. See what you did there, buddy.
Yeah. All right. What else we got? Han. Okay, Jedi Mike says Han and Chewie new Disney Choose Your Own Adventure book was great with my 9-year-old son. Oh, is that? Did they just put one of those out?
That sounds like fun. I do like Choose Your Own Adventures.
Same. Yeah, I
always thought those. Did you ever see those? Did you ever read those World of Power books? There were like these little books based loosely off the storylines in Nintendo games. Like they had a Blaster Master and a Ninja Gaiden. I always felt the video game stuff would have worked better with Choose Your Own Adventure, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to go take the warp pipe or continue onto the castle? Like that just seems like that would have worked with the video game format. I
always wanted that game that the kid's playing in Big. You know, in the opening of Big, he's like on his computer. Like, I don't think that was a real game, right? That was the made-up game.
No.
Yeah, I was like, every time I would watch, I was like, I want to play that game because it was kind of like that. I remember he was kind of just like writing out options and stuff. But Yeah. There's an Inquisitor in Rebels whose face is open. Yeah, the fifth brother who's with her. You can see his scary face. And he looks cool. I'm hoping the pictures of the fifth brother come out because does not look bad. I honestly thought it was going to look kind of dumb. Does not look dumb. Looks really good.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks.
I just love it when Star Wars gets the design down. It's just you want the toys, you want the poster. You know what I mean? They all look cool. Like Star Wars designs when they're strong or unlike anything else.
Yeah, that's kind of the opportunity's always there with Star Wars too to do really strong work. So when it's not, that's when it almost just feels like this is unacceptable. It's really not fair because I mean everybody's just doing.
Well, that's what happens when you claim to be one of the best things ever. Like not just claim it, but like it cemented that in '77, right? Like it's like one of the heights of American pop culture, right? If not the height of like truly an American melting pot of taking a bunch of fucking things and turning it into something else, which is what we sort of do here.
Yeah, when you have that pivotal moment and you open it up with the text, every generation has a legend. Like once you said that in that cultural moment, even though they're not going around saying they're the best thing ever now. They're not doing that. But they did that then, and that's always going to be in us, I think. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, I was under the impression that like when she talks and stuff that she has her mask off or open or whatever. Any chance Reva gets a spinoff series? We'll have to see what her fate is, right? I'm not 100% sure on what happens to her, but I do think there's a chance. I hope there's a chance, and especially
do a prequel.
Well, and I mentioned it. I mentioned it in the chat, or in the article. I'm like, is her name pulling from Revan? Can we expect any kind of character beats to follow from Revan? Is that sort of a foreshadowing? You know what I mean? Kind of, is there an element there or not? There definitely doesn't have to be, but there definitely could be. This character is kind of like Revan, and if the character does the character take the name of Reva, or was she born Reva? Because if she takes the name, then she may identify with him. And that's also interesting and probably insightful to the character, right?
Yeah.
Sun King is the fifth brother. Yeah. Yeah. Which Inquisitor do you think has the best design? From Kenobi or in general? Because that's so Johannes, you really pissed me off right now, just so you know. No, I kind of still like the one from the video game from the Fallen Order. I still like that design the best, honestly. I think it's really kind of cheesy. It feels super 80s to me. It feels like how you would have drawn an 80s bad guy or bad girl. And so I kind of dig it. I still have that mask somewhere actually, because I like it. So what's open when she's talking? Wait, what's open when she's talking? I don't know. Maybe it goes. I don't know. I don't know what it does. But maybe she's an acolyte of Revan. Yeah, I mean they have danced around the whole like Revan like topic and the Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic stuff. In the last couple of years, Episode 9 had the statues and stuff from the Old Republic bad guys, and so they've definitely played with it to like some extent, but I don't know what to expect on that kind of front, and I think it's definitely worth considering, but yeah. And then like the Star Wars Rebels depictions of the Inquisitors is sort of, it's very Disney XD'd. I feel like from based off of what I'm hearing, it's what we're going to get in the Kenobi series is much closer to what we got in the video game, and it's going to definitely take that even further, though. You know, and I think the central conflict for these Inquisitors is that they used to be Jedi. So I'm not quite sure about this, so don't quote me on it. But I think that some of them actually like see Order 66 as this horrible thing, and then they're just resigned to their fate now. And then others like Reva see this as like, no, this is the way. This is what had to happen. We had to become like Anakin, and that's what I've heard about her. Is that her perspective is that that Anakin Skywalker is sort of a hero in becoming Darth Vader, and I guess she knows. That was the vibe I had, anyways. So I'm curious. I'm curious to what we end up getting. Getting
Anakin
about
had all the best spoilers, and so what could you do? You know,
right? Ah, man,
it's the most weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard.
What's that? What do you mean?
It's just I fucking hate. I just the whole idea that if I don't like someone, but they have really good spoilers, so what are you gonna do?
Oh, that yeah.
It's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard. Dude. I'm a simple guy, man. Like I guess I just grew up alone in a room, like adhering to like real basic tenets of like. Like if I don't like put it this way, I didn't like WCW, right?
Yeah.
I don't go, well, what can it do? You know, gotta watch it. It's wrestling, and I don't like it. Like I just turn it off. It's no big deal, man.
Yeah.
You know? Same with Dune. Like I turned Dune off. You know, I didn't like Dune. Don't go, well, I gotta sit through it. It's important I watch this. It's not. Like it's not important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just weird, you know, that they would go, oh, we heard something that's bad. We don't know if it's true, but so that gives us the right to just steal all of the work. Just take it. Just take it and
sign to their fate, like the sisters.
You know, it just the
Inquisitors.
It just it kind of sucks. Like I've said on more stuff than I've released because it's kind of like a huge turnoff to release stuff, and then you know, have it just pilfered and have people pretend like they have scoops based off of like watching the show sometimes, which is kind of funny. That does happen sometimes, you know.
I like how somebody out there was like, hey, you could just guess your way through this stuff. You don't need the spoilers. And I'm like, yeah, just like you guys guess your way through Boba Fett and fucking Disney Plus Day, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
How'd that go for you all? How'd fan math work for you on that one?
But you know what?
You know?
Here's the thing. I don't need to guess my way through anything because I actually have legitimate sources.
It's really, you really do. Like, what's crazy is, like, I don't even, it's not like Jason sits when the camera's off, he goes, hey man, here's all my shit. I don't know anything until pretty much the day you post it, you know? But I've been following you long enough to go like, that dude really got that one right. Holy shit. I think what's great is when you tell people, I have no fucking clue. Because I think I have no fucking clue.
Do you want one right now? Okay. Junkbox asks, any news on the Lando show? I got no fucking clue. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's in this day and age, that's the sign of integrity goes a long way. You know, even if you don't like someone, do they have integrity? Do they fucking tell you the truth? I don't like them. Okay, but do they tell you the truth? Yeah. Well, then there you go. Mm-hmm. Who cares if you fucking like them? Like I care about like I don't know anybody on there. I don't really know a lot of people. You know, I try to find like, are they consistent? You know, are they consistently bullshitting me? You know, I don't like bullshitters unless we're having a bullshit session, like we're all just making shit up. Then I'm fine with that.
Sure. No, early on, like one of them, two of the biggest mistakes I made was number one is I thought if you just, and I still probably kind of think that way today, but if I just rationalize with somebody and explain what's going on, then they'll see reason. And that's not true because people get into Star Wars and they act like giant babies. I want heir to the empire, and it's like, I'm sorry, but it's not my fault, you know. But also, what
You
would
made the
happen?
decision.
Yeah, you could have lied to me. Good job, Junkbox. But and then the other thing is though is like for instance, like today, like now I'm a little bit more realistic with the excitement, but I like Star Wars so much. When I learned that Reva's name was based off of Revan and that she was the third sister and Moses Ingram's character, I was fucking buzzing. I was elated. And when I would bring a story like that, like from The Force Awakens out, and I would like deliver it, and then people would give me grief for it, it was just like, oh fuck, are you serious right now? And then they would keep doing it, and I'd just be like, eat a dick, eat shit, fuck off. And then you know, if somebody was an asshole, I'd be like, yeah, you got shit for brains, block, you know. And in reality, I just never should have acknowledged them at all. But you know, that was a character flaw I've had to try to get over. You know what I mean? Like just not acknowledging like stupid shit like that. And
yeah.
And I always like, and I always had this like working theory that sometimes is true, that like somebody would be like, you're a big fat fucking dumbhead and I hate your face, you fucking asshole. And I'm like, hey man, I was just trying to bring you the stars. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm sorry, you actually do read this. You actually
Johnny's so mean sometimes, isn't he?
Johnny is so mean to me, guys. So mean to me.
Why you bringing me up like that, Meg? He's gonna take it real serious.
Oh yeah, he will too. hey, buddy. Sorry, but what you just said was fucked up. Sorry, I just want you to sorry.
Hey, it's a joke.
Yeah. But so like early on, you know, I got this like reputation. I was like, as a hothead, and I still am a hothead, and you know, I try not to be though, but it is really kind of offensive, or you know, crushing when you go through do all this work and you think you're bringing like something to the masses that they really want to know, and that you're going to get into the conversation, and then the conversation is shut down by people who want to make it about themselves usually, or who don't like it, so then they abuse they shoot the messenger. You know what I mean? That's the bad part. Like I said, I think I'm a lot better at it now. I ended up getting into like a point where like there was just so much anxiety around releasing scoops that I would like release a scoop and then just like leave, just like go, just turn off the internet, you know. And that wasn't the right way to do it either, though. I kind of like the way that we're doing it right now, though, because I don't know if anybody's reading the scoop I put out today, but if they are, you know, I'm experiencing it with you guys, and this feels better. Like whatever the experience is, this feels better. So
yeah, I remember like you would eventually put a podcast up, but it would take like 2 hours to get to that thing because you were so like, I don't want to talk about it, and then you'd have to fill in all this, you know, story behind the releasing of it, and I'd be sitting there going like, man, that's a lot of crazy shit just to put up a fucking article about some, you know what I mean? Like considering,
yeah.
I don't know, it's just so weird. It's like all you do is say, hey man, found out this cool shit. You know, like, all right, fuck you. Like what?
Yeah.
What did you do? Okay, yeah. All right. You were the only. I mean, especially that Force Awakens, man. You had all the stuff.
Yeah, I did. I really rocked those movies pretty hard. I did a lot of big stuff with The Last Jedi, but I didn't know how to report a lot of it, so I sat on more than I reported because it was like. The space time stuff was just too hard to explain, and I didn't know exactly how it was working, you know. But David says, "How do you get your sources? Random or people you already knew?" All kinds of different ways.
Tinder.
Sometimes.
What?
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll take you out for sushi if you give me some of those Star Wars spoilers.
Fiverr, man. You know you get your sources from Fiverr.
Hey, yeah. So I need to know the third sister's name. If I give you $5, can you tell me? They're like, yeah, I can do that.
This seems legit.
Yeah. The truth is, without being specific, I have a lot of sources, and from all different kinds of ways.
You've been doing this so long, bro. I mean, you were at the first celebration. I mean, like I told you, you came on my radar with the Amidala funeral kids book. You know, like
back in the day,
fucking 5. I was at Kinko's. You know what I mean? Like wondering, will one day I ever get to draw for a living? I'm working in a fucking hellhole of a fucking place. You know, and I'm just like, I was one of those guys who like, I don't want to even watch the movie, but I was interested in all the spoilers. You know what I mean? Like, I was hoping the spoilers would make me want to watch it, is what I was hoping, right? And like, I just love that they had a kid's book about a funeral. Like, I'm like, well, there's I guess if there's any positivity from this whole he kills his wife fucking story, and she could get kids to deal with grief somehow. Like, it's a stretch, but you know, so weird.
No, yeah, it's one of those situations that we knew was coming, but it wasn't until we got there that we were like, whoa, they really have to decide right now if Darth Vader kills his wife. That's weird. You know what I mean? Like I definitely can see where George Lucas was coming from on that way, but I'm like, but you are making him Darth Vader, you know? And I like the idea better that she died from the injuries sustained by him than the other way, because I mean that is what that guy ultimately becomes, even in real life. Like if you're dating that guy, that's what that guy's going to do to you.
Well, people also need to understand you can become the people that you love, or even yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, like democracy it's a constant state of renewal. It's not we achieved this, or hey, you achieved a marriage, or you achieved a relationship. Because you can become a monster. Yeah. You know, I watched my mom start off, you know, when I was born, my mom was a super liberal, super understanding, helped everyone kind of person. And then through the Reagan administration, by the end of the Reagan administration, she was a fucking right wing, like, I mean, just ridiculous, dude. Like, it just, I mean, and it was just, I didn't understand how to deal with that, you know? Like, and it just got worse and worse until she eventually self-destructed. And Star Wars is one of those things where I'm like, I wish the story would have gone further, you know? Like, what happens when your best fucking friend becomes the worst fucking person in the world? Yeah. Literally, like that's such a, I mean, look, there's a human story. We're talking about Star Wars stories. We want human stories, not Star Wars stories. That's one of the most human stories you can get, more than your father or your parents were a great something and you had this destiny. Like, no. Your friends, you know, became nightmares. What then? What do? You know, can you help them? Do you save them? Do you give up on them? What do you do? I mean, what a brilliant fucking thing. And I think that's sort of like, you know, I could go at the time, I felt like with my fandom, I was at the crossroads of like the threshold of going one of two ways. One, saying, oh, here's all these great things that are in the prequels because it's about that. It's about your friend going bad and can you help them and all this other stuff. Or I could be like, it is, but it's not really making that case very well, you know? Mm-hmm. And so like, what a fucking wasted opportunity, you know? And I just was like, I'm not defending this. Like it's just like, it's one of those things where when Lucas could describe that, and I think if he did describe it, he would describe it brilliantly. Unfortunately, when he goes to put it into a script, it's not there as articulate as when he's talking about it, you know?
True.
That's weird, you know? It's tough.
Yeah. And it's also tough to, you know, really go that far with Darth Vader, because I think he was afraid that he could take it to such an extent that we would be like, whoa, we see him differently now. And we don't like him. And so so it was a weird place to like where the story wanted to go and the value of Darth Vader, I think, were at odds for Lucas.
But I think that's the businessman thing, though, Jason. Like, I think we should not have liked him. I think agree. Because when Luke says, "Hey, there's good in him," and they're like, "There really fucking isn't," you'd be like, even after seeing, you'd be like, "Luke, there's no fucking good in him." You know, like we saw, you didn't see shit. You know, rose-colored fucking farm boy glasses here. This man is a fucking monster. You know, But Luke refusing to give up on someone, like there's something to that too. I mean,
Sure.
I have one friend that I grew up with who has fallen a bit. He's fallen quite the ways in
Okay.
life. But I refuse to give up on him because I'm a fucking idiot. No, because I gotta get to
I
Star
get it.
Wars. you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No. It's that you're right. I mean, I don't disagree. Like there are like if they had gone the Padme dying of a broken heart like way in Revenge of the Sith, from the very start, and that they had laid that out, and it felt tonally in line with what he was doing, I would have been okay with it as over the top as it is. But in the end, it just kind of like, what? She died of a broken heart, and I'm able to roll with it in the end. It doesn't break the movie for me or anything like that, but it is very clear that like that doesn't seem like it makes any sense. And in my
If that were
head
in
canon,
any other franchise, if that were in any other genre-based franchise, like Batman, right, Superman, Captain America, people would be like, "That's fucking ridiculous." Like Star Wars gets a giant pass sometimes.
Star Wars. No, I think you're being nice to say it got a pass. I don't think it did. I think it got really,
Well,
really.
in hindsight, people have let it go, but
Yeah.
at the time, people weren't nice about it. I'm not even gonna, say it got a pass at the time. But people over time, you're like, well, it's not that bad. You don't understand what I'm talking about. Like, come on.
My take is that if the Doctor Droid just doesn't understand that a Sith Lord just picked her up and like messed with her using the Force, if that makes sense. That's kind of like how I watch the movie to make it.
You
work
imagine if they rebooted Batman, but his parents died of a broken heart.
Oh my god, dude, that would be so sad. I would be on Twitter. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Bruce. That's how it would be. It would be people on Twitter going, "I'm so sorry that happened to you."
And then you take off your nightie like Nicole Kidman does in Batman Forever.
Oh man, that movie.
Fucking hot though.
Oh yeah, she's hot, but I'd rather watch her like in the Others or something when she has like little ghosts running around and stuff. She's not as hot in that one, but she's still pretty hot. Yeah.
But if I had to have a shrink, that'd be the one. Like, I just gotta say, dude,
Yeah,
it's crazy that's in a fucking movie, man. Like, she just.
it always made me mad that they just got rid of Vicky Vale. It was like,
yeah,
she was like the best one, the best like love interest that he had, and then there's like, oh, she's gone. Just bye. So weird. I mean, I know why, the backstory and stuff, but yeah, such a weird mistake on their part, But
I would agree.
yeah, did you? We didn't really talk about it that much. What did you think of that new Batman? That image that came out of Michael Keaton as Batman.
Okay, one, I'm aware that's a stunt outfit. Okay, so it's got little puffy parts and stuff. I get it. I know what stunt suits look like. I'm not a noob here. I get it. That being said, I can see past and see the design. I think it's bad.
Really?
I think it's incredibly blocky. The way the cape comes around the shoulders and just sits really straight horizontal looks like a weird Batman comic from the early 90s, like when they would draw Batman's shoulder pads like he had a T-bar. Like it's not elegant. The Burton outfits are the 89 specifically is an elegant outfit. The way the cape goes around the sides of the bat symbol and then folds over, and then when he pulls out the cape and it does those rigid, the silhouette of that costume is there's nothing. It was designed for you to look at his eyes. That's why, because Keaton has those eyes. They base the brow line on that 89 outfit off his eyebrows, so they're really sharp. They're sharp, and then in Batman Returns it gets duller. You know what I mean? Super like it's not as sharp. It's less aggressive, and then and then he doesn't really do the rigid bad thing. He does that hang glider, but that looks stupid. And then by the time you get to Batman Forever, he doesn't even have a rigid cape. It's all a super loose cape, and he's like super metallic, right?
Yeah.
This outfit is just like it's way built up in the chest, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like any of it,
Yeah.
And I get I'm in the fucking minority on this, But I think like with Warner Brothers, it's really weird. Their costumes are made by multiple different companies. So on
Mm-hmm.
Batman v Superman, that costume, the Batman one there was made by a company called Ironhead, and they
Mm-hmm.
do fantastic work. But on for some reason, they went through some other British company for the Justice League, and the weird night goggles thing that he's wearing, and he's all got armor. It's so fucking weird. The materials are off. It's the same. I wonder with Boba Fett if like there's different people made the Boba Fett outfit that made the one on Mando. You know what I mean? Because it just feels off. And this, the materials feel really weird. I don't like it. But I just people. I'm excited to see Keaton come back. I've been wanting that since
Me too.
2013 when they announced this whole fucking thing. The
Mm-hmm.
reboot. But I didn't like it. You know.
Yeah, I what I saw I liked, but I want to see the final one like before I could really, you know what I mean, like look at it and go, you know. And I'm also like taking into account that I don't know for certain, but I'm gonna guess that like Keaton's body has changed in some ways, so maybe there's
I
some
get all
reason
that.
to change. Yeah, maybe there's some
I
reasons
have
to do it, but I don't know.
so two things on that. If his body's changed, that's where you use the cape to cover most of
Hmm.
them up in the way the Batman animated series would do, right?
Hmm.
You can make that cape more Vader-esque in a way
Yeah.
that hides a bit of that. But I will say that I have friends who are privy to artwork assets from that film
Hmm.
coming out, and they tell me the artwork looks great, and normally it doesn't.
Okay.
So that's they're like, yeah, I don't know if I'd hold up on reactions to those picks right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. But I trust these people.
And that is always true of leaks. Like that's one of the things, like whenever I put something out, I if something I'm hearing is bad and I don't want to go there, I just don't go there. Or I'm always honest about it, but I try to be in the corner like of whatever, like of like a leak, or whatever, and I try to like really explain it and try to help people understand what they're going for, and then we can decide if they achieved it or not. And so that's kind of where I'm at with the Batman suit right now, is without having actually seen the final one and like what it's going to be, and stuff like that. Then I'm like, because that
When it
the
comes to Batman, I prefer elegance to details.
mm-hmm.
Even if elegance means like the way they did, Affleck's muscles on that BVS suit, it's pretty good. It's straight
Yeah,
up Frank Miller's stuff, with some lacerations and shit like that. I just wish his belt buckle was like an actual like cloth buckle, like utility belt would be my
yeah,
only gripe on that. And that he had real combat boots, which would have been cool. Those treads and shit. So
yeah.
I think the Batgirl outfit from that same film looks great. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's super spot on, so
Well, let's
I'm
go to this
not
back.
like one of those.
Come on.
No. We've seen Batman and Robin. They could fuck that one up like to no end,
But that was the one where it was like that's the one with Clueless, right?
Yeah, she's wearing high
Yeah.
heels and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Uncle Alfred made her that fucking costume. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
Uncle Alfred needs to get his fucking head examined, or he needs to be canceled. Like, 'cause, like that shit it's creepy.
Poor Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you call it? Yeah, I wasn't super into the idea of the Batman, and then my kids were like, Dad, will you get us the Little Caesars Batman pizza? I was like, you guys really want Batman pizza? They're like, yeah, we really want Batman pizza. And
You
then I
know
found
you would
out
have
about
wanted a
it.
Batman pizza in '89, dude.
That's
You
why
would
I did it. That's exactly why I did it.
100%.
And I go to Little Caesars and I'm picking it up, and the lady's like, you like Batman? I'm like, yeah, I like Batman. She's all, are you here for the posters? And I was like, my kids want the posters actually. I'm all, when I was a kid, I would have wanted the poster, but she's like, she looks at me, she's like, I know this motherfucker wants the posters for himself. So she's thinking, actually,
She goes, you look like a guy who'd spoil shit on the internet. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
She could smell my kind. She just didn't have the right breed. She just wasn't on the right one,
So close yet so far, right?
Yeah. Like she wasn't wrong, but she wasn't right.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. She gave me all of them. And so I gave them to the kids. Yeah, and I was like, we put them up in the kids' room, and I wasn't really that into into the idea of a lot of the Batman stuff, but I was kind of like, you know what, this is kind of looking fun. I heard it's boring in some of like the early reviews, but I think like I kind of like, I'm like, if you're gonna go this way on it, I'm like, okay, I haven't seen this on screen, so I'm down to give you a shot and see what you do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited 6 years ago when they announced it. And now I'm like, they've had like 6 Spider-Man movies by the time this shit came out. It's fucking ridiculous. There's that clip about it's been going around with that chase scene where he talks to Gordon and then he's running and everyone's putting music over it. And I just want to figure we're talking about Batman. I'll bring it up now. So like, it's weird. He's talking to Gordon, and they're like strangely really fucking close to one another, and they're like snarling when they talk to one another. It's really weird, dude. Like,
really? Oh, I didn't see that.
You gotta see how like Jim Gordon. And I love that actor. He's a dude. He's
great. From
he's one of the. He's gonna be a legend. He's a fucking legend already. You know, like he's so fucking. He's so fucking good. But he doesn't seem like when he talks like he turns and snarl like he turns his. I'm like, it's so weird.
I'm fucking commissioner. Is he doing that but Jack Balance?
Do it but whisper.
Oh,
do it but whisper.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm not him. He's so talented. He's so talented. He can whisper snarl.
Yeah, it's so weird. But they keep putting different music over this scene where Batman runs because there's no music in the scene, and the music from the Batman animated series works the best over it. I'm like, they should have just brought that theme back. Like that animated series theme is the best blend, like between Burton and adventure. You know, like really
that original 1989 Batman theme is, I think, still like it's up there with Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Back to the Future for like, I think it's one of the
100%
top five theme songs. I do not. It's like it's like not using that leitmotif is like Star Wars not using the Force theme, not using the Star Wars theme. It's like you have the best themes. Why aren't you guys using them?
But the animated series by Shirley Walker, you know, who was responsible for getting Burton Elfman in a grip of fucking people in Hollywood, you know, their fucking jobs. She's fucking MVP of composers. Her animated series theme is just like it I think it's the perfect extension of that. Like and if you, I mean, in a perfect world, you'd have both in a film, you know, being remixed in some way. But like that whole, I think still the best bit of Mask of the Phantasm is the opening for me, where it's that CGI Gotham City and like it's got that choral shit and then just fades out. And I'm like, come on, we're in a city. It can't just blend into fucking him running on the rooftops or something. But they had to make that movie in like under a year, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still think if I had to guess and put my money on this Batman movie, I would assume it'll probably be like a 3. You know, I don't think it's going to be a 5. I think people
you're saying a 3 out of 5?
Yeah, I say it's going to probably be a 3 out of 5.
I thought you were saying like a 3 out of 10. I was like, that bad?
When a movie of that caliber is releasing at 3 hours, I feel like someone doesn't want to make a decision.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not because they're trying to give us more content. They're not doing that at all. Their theater owners are going to be pissed about that because of the way the economics of movie theaters work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that's what that he was talking about, how it was inspired by Last Days, the Kurt Cobain inspired movie, and that movie is maybe one of the most slow, monotonous movies of all time. And it's supposed to be.
That's not good.
And it's that one is supposed to be. You're like literally sitting like in a room with a guy who's about to commit suicide in that. And then you watch him like, but it's very much like it's you know in Shaun of the Dead when they do those like montage cuts of like he's like making coffee, he's like it's like all this like jump cuts real fast of doing what he does to get outside like for his day and like cross the street, walk to work. Like it does like all that stuff real fast, and it's the exact opposite of that. You will see him just literally taking the coffee out. It's like an A24 movie, but there's nothing magical in it or something, you know?
To be fair, in A24, they don't make films. They just distribute the weird ones.
They put out movies like that. Yeah. But it's so when I heard that they were kind of like basing it on that, I was like, that's a really fucking weird choice. And
what another weird choice is that they apparently based the costume off the Telltale video game. You know, that's a direct quote from one of the production designers. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not a good game, man. Like, I don't care what anyone says. And that design's milquetoast. And you could see it. That's why the armor, it just sits weird to me. Like, all of it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't mind the cowl and the cape, but the armor itself is just, it looks like a low polygon video game, like the Telltale video game. Like, it's odd.
Yeah, yeah, and I am with you in when you said, you know, like elegance with Batman and stuff like that. Like I've never been I'm not to like I said before, I'm not into Batman being realistic because it's inherently not realistic. And the
Yeah, it's a
more that
fantasy.
that they have to work to make the fantasy seem realistic, the less the fantasy becomes and the less interested I am.
Yep.
And that's why, like, you know, I enjoyed like two of the Nolan ones. And then after that, I haven't really cared very much for it, you know, in a big way.
Yeah.
And
But look, if
I
it's
love
a
Batman.
3, don't everyone will get
Yeah.
mad at me because, like I told you, I caught the ire of the internet when I saw BVS early and gave it a 3. You know, and people were like, "Oh, God." I'm like, what's wrong with the 3? Like, you know what I mean? After 3 is good. I give Dark Knight Rises a fucking 2, so this is a step up from that. Like, far as I'm concerned, that movie that's a weird fucking film. But like, it's Tom Hardy acting with his eyes is something I never want to see ever again.
um,
Yeah.
one thing that I remembered, I remembered the old Batman 89 VHS like ads and stuff, and I remembered at the time it was like the little nerd in me, the little Star Wars nerd, was like almost offended because they were like, this is the movie of the decade, and that's what they used to say about Star Wars. Star Wars was the movie of the decade, and which really meant it
Oh,
was
it's
like
our
the
Star Wars for
80s.
real.
But it's like
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like when you look at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know. But what's weird is we used to have a movie of the decade. Now, 1 year later, we don't remember really what came
Well,
out.
because
Barely.
Marvel's just kicking
Weird.
ass every fucking 4 times a
Yeah.
year, dude. Like they're putting out consistently great genre pulp movies in the way that Steven Spielberg and Lucas used to do. They're just doing it at a consistent rate that it's like, fuck, man. Like,
Mhm.
like you know, this is crazy. You know, like, they got at this point they got a better run than Pixar. You
Yeah.
know, Pixar kind of hit Cars less than about 10 years in, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
1995, but by 2005 you get Cars. You're like, "Ugh."
Thanks to Howard the Duck. Yeah, I have to say, I I don't know. Do I want to say that? No, I don't think that. But anyways, I'm hoping that if they end up getting their heads out of their ass and that they get Keaton back and they make a Batman movie that's like the Dark Knight Return style with Michael Keaton and really
I
just make like a
wish
true
they'd stay
sequel.
away from the Dark Knight Returns, though. I hear you, but after
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, it's like just stay
Well,
away
okay.
from it.
What I'm
You know?
saying is what I want. I mean, old Batman. I mean, old Batman. Okay, that's what I
Right,
mean.
but he's still gonna
Yeah.
fight Superman. We already got
Oh,
that movie.
okay,
It's not
okay.
interesting.
I
You
don't
know?
want that. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah, that's not what I mean then. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want that. I've never I'm actually I've never been a fan of Batman actually having anybody else in his world. I like the Batman. I like Gotham City with Batman and his maniacs. I don't like when, you know, Aquaman's surfing by and Superman's flying by. I don't Wonder Woman's waving. I don't want any of that invisible jet. I don't want any of that shit. I just like Batman for the most part. You know, not knocking the other stuff, just not for me. But just straight up
Yeah,
Batman.
I can see
That's
that. I want
that's
a
my
fucking
jam.
Clayface. I want them to finally like. I just wish these films were
Yeah.
like embrace. I wish it was. I've been saying like just set it in that fucking animated series. Like it's the 30s, but it has modern technology. You know, like all the TVs are black and white, but he's got computers. Like that fucking. They
Yeah.
nailed a universe, and just 20 fucking years ago or 30 years ago. God damn it. And they're just like, it's on the shelf. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have it all right there. You know, like it's crazy. And like
Yeah.
they could do, you know, these cars that they could do freeze with a ray gun and it could work, you know, they could do Clayface, they could do all that cool shit, man. Like, and they could
Yeah.
do a Mad Hatter thing where it's got crazy psychedelic fucking illusions where Batman's fighting giant Wonderland fucking at shit, but it's all dark but like super fucking cool. And the way that like people go, what in Wonderland, Rob? But in Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man film, the Far From Home, yeah, he has that hallucination or whatever where he's like going through Tony Stark's fucking skull and there's spiders and shit. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Like people forget that's in the fucking movie. Look brilliant in 3D, by the way.
Yeah. Superman is fucking goofy and lame. Just doesn't suit the aesthetic of my favorite Batman stories. Exactly. I'm fine with it being the same universe or whatever, but yeah, I agree entirely on that one. And yeah, I always liked. It's what's weird too is I don't ever actually usually like when Batman and Robin are together. I like the stories about like after Robin died and him dealing with like the grief of the death of Robin, or Robin becoming like Nightwing and like those kind of parts of it. I don't really like it when it's Batman and Robin, but when it's Batman and then the absence or the loss or the
that just depends on who writes it, because Kick-Ass found a way to do a Batman and a Robin story in which you're like, I'm into this.
Yeah.
I think Kick-Ass is the most underrated comic book film of all time.
Yeah.
People try to give that to Man of Steel. But I'm like, no, it's fucking Kick-Ass. Like, because you got Nicolas Cage acting like Adam West. I mean, like, he's doing all the Adam West mannerisms, but he's training his daughter to be more vicious than any Robin ever. And like, just fucking crazy that first film. There was an edit of that film that they showed off at Comic-Con. I wasn't there for it, but I heard about it, where they showed it with all the temp music. So all the temp music was just themes from other films, like superhero films. So the opening sequence was the Superman, like dun, 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 and then the person falls to their death and shit. I wish we could get that. Yeah, I wish we could get that back with all the superhero music. Because it works. It's got to work even 10 times beter.
I wonder if anybody made comprehensive notes so that it could be reconstructed by a fan.
Dude, talk to Peter Serrera or whatever. Like they had to have seen it, right? One of them were there, the Slash Film dudes or Harry fucking Knowles. Somebody was fucking Tarantino had to be there for that, right? Like he'll remember. That guy never forgets anything. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, we did an impromptu Batman podcast today. Didn't see that coming, but that's the beauty of just doing whatever we want
to talk about.
Yeah,
3 months, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The ramp up and the good thing is I feel like, obviously until I've seen it, I can't completely say, but I feel like Kenobi's gonna deliver. So I don't feel like we're walking into something like we did with like Book of Boba, where it didn't deliver, or like where it didn't do what it could do and should have done. I feel like this one is doing it. So I think we're going to have a good couple of months, a good couple fun months with Kenobi. But yeah, good times. Anyways, you got any plans this weekend? Or are you just working all weekend?
I'm working all weekend.
Working all weekend? Yeah. I may put together a UFO show. I haven't decided yet, but if you're not busy, I'll send you a message and you can join. And if you are busy, no worries. But if not, we will be back on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll be talking about old man Kenobi, that old kook. All right, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to still leave comments on the videos, and we'll make sure to get to it in the next episode over the weekend or whatever, or in the comments themselves. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel and become a Patreon supporter. To help, the goal is to elevate the show into the higher definitions than it already is. So, as everybody's working for the weekend, yes, Santa knows. And I don't know if we're gonna do a Star Wars Santa show on Monday, but if we don't, then don't tune in on Monday because we won't be there. But
Santa's if we gotta go to Ukraine and prevent World War III.
he does. He does. He gets in the.
Or Christmas is going to be a real bummer.
I actually meant to like send him. I was watching this video last night about psychedelics, and it was about like are psychedelics from space, and did psychedelics help mankind like actually consciously grow and evolve? And there's
This
like
is how
evidence
Joe
for it that
Rogan
was, like,
became
kind of
all right. You know that, right? Like, it's like
oh yeah, for
you're
sure.
entering the first year of Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, no, but in it in that episode that I was watching of some show, Jesse Michaels, I think is the show, and he's like going through it, and it was just a fascinating discussion though. But it starts to talk about like the quote Santa Claus myth and about how it's been like retold in all these different ways, and like it has these people with these like teepee kind of like houses, and they take the psychedelics and shit, they go into like to the tops and stuff, and they have reindeers, and they're like, we think this is where Santa Claus comes from. And they're so anyways, the whole point was I was half asleep when I watched it. But
now you know how the Green Knight got lit, right? Greenlit.
Greenlit, yeah.
Greenlit, yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious that Santa Claus might stem in some way out of people doing mushrooms next to reindeers. I have to find out like that.
That's
like
how I came up with this gimmick. The 60s were kind to Santa.
Have you ever seen Return of the Jedi on LSD? Yeah.
They took my Quaaludes, but not my shrooms.
Makes the Ewok movies even better. All right, everyone. Thanks again. Thanks, Robin. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
James Washington's super late. Hey, dudes. James, you're at the end, bud.
Right off.
We're totally done.